If they're two letters.
Detailing the, ups. Okay. Stacy, whenever you are comfortable, rested and ready, because I'm not going to toss it to you immediately.
Well, I'm not even up front or first, right? I think Craig was complete.
Yeah.
But I'm ready because I'm not charged. We're sleeping is every time you go to use it.
Oh,
It's not old. I think it just kind of stays on. I think I'm good though.
you want, I would, you want to use my iPad?
Yeah. I still like paper, so I have paper.
Okay. Okay. All right. Hello, it is 5:30 and I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Ed Finance Committee meeting to order. We have a couple items on our agenda. The first will be discussing the budget reductions that we have for the fiscal year 2023-2024, followed by an update of the current year or the year that's ending 22-23. But to start, we'll toss it back to proposed reductions to Dr. Cook.
Yes, thank you, Galen. We have updated to the board and we'll share with the public as well a memo that we had presented to the board back in February when we were looking at a $50,000 reduction. We're thrilled the budget has passed and we're able to move forward. We do have a reduction from the Board of Finance of $75,000 that we need to address in the board's budget. And so our intention is to have a discussion tonight with the committee and then present that formally to the board for approval on June 6th at their meeting. The two previous items that we discussed as part of a $50,000 reduction was savings that we became known to us after our budget was presented to the board, after the board approved our administration's budget of liability insurance savings under CIRMA. We work closely with the town of Madison, and in doing so, the town under in board under Stacy's leadership worked with CIRMA and kept our information up to date, and was able to achieve a reduction in our cost for next year. So this is one of those items that zero impact to the district in terms of operating achievement, and so we're pleased to be able to present that one. Along those lines, electricity after a warmer than expected winter, we were able to lock in on multiple years for electricity savings, and that was better news than we thought when we build our budget and approved our budget. As a reminder, you all know we will start our budget for next year sometime in September. With discussions with kind of our district leadership over here, and then start at the building level usually in October. So we're projecting so far in advance, and it did look like it was going to be bad news for electricity, but we were able to achieve some savings. So again, also an item that doesn't have an impact on students. And then for the remaining $25,000, we received 2 retirements that were unexpected, and because we have the board's approval to start that hiring early, and we appreciate that and certainly take advantage of that, we'll be able to hire some staff that were less expensive than those retiring. So for unexpected savings, $25,000. That would be something normally at this time we potentially be looking for other ways to extend that, or other holes that are potentially in next year's budget. So that those are funds that we don't like to normally cut at this point, but we feel that's a reduction that we can make and has the least impact on next year. So that will be something we put forward. And as I've shared with the board, we're expecting next year to be a higher number than we saw. Certainly to start from the administration, based on some positions that are coming off a grant, other information that we're hearing. You know, in terms of costs rising. Insurance being an unknown, we're still very far from, you know, what to predict anything on that, but, you know, we're pleased to be able to have a result in a 2.5%, 2.52%. For next year, so this will bring us in line, and this is what we're asking the committee to recommend to the next meeting.
Thank you. Are there any questions or other discussion?
Glad it worked out so nicely.
Yeah.
It worked out well.
Accommodate the board of finance requests.
Yeah. Everything else, that's good.
So then I guess that will be brought to the full board for action at June 6th.
Yes, seeing that tonight is a presentation, there's no committee reports, but
Okay. And
we'll put that on the agenda for action.
I suppose we should probably just have a motion to approve this and forward it up to the main board. Okay. We have a motion to approve the $75,000.
Okay.
Second,
I'll second that.
discussion. No. All right, all in favor?
I think.
Aye. Motion passes, so we'll bring this up for action on June 6th for the
Great.
meeting. And we'll have the, it's a $75,000 total reduction, and we'll have the. I guess we'll have to amend the budget, approved budget.
Yeah.
Or whatever that number exactly is, okay. All right, thank you. Next up would be, an update for the ending fiscal year 2022, 2023, and once again, Stacy probably landed an aircraft carrier.
So this is an update from last month. Not too many changes as far as the bottom line, but it does reflect the line item transfers that you all approved in that the Board of Ed approved at their last meeting. I continue to watch the buildings. I mean, that's stuff that kind of fluctuates. And special ed. So I know this month we do get our second reimbursement from the state for special ed, so we'll have a little bit of a clearer picture on that. And then really it's your next meeting in June where we'll identify other line item transfers that need to be made. In order to cover potential areas, and then if there are additional funds, we can revisit the potential requests that are on here.
So, could we post this on our website? Because, you know, as we discussed this, we're gonna get lost in the details, but if anybody's interested, they can see it. Yes. We want to go through. So the projected available funds are $116,927. Okay. And the projected balance is 196, or deficit 196.
Well, what we absolutely need to cover is that middle section for the special ed. And again, we'll know more once we get our second reimbursement from the state. So then potential available funds up for potential line item transfers would be that $17,000.
Okay.
And then these are items that have been on here from the beginning of time. They started in our budget process. And then we can discuss if we do want to, you know, use some of the available funds, and if this number grows, do we want to use it to line item transfer for these purposes?
Thank you.
Yeah, so for the public's purposes, we did not do anything below the projected remainder available line unless we have the funds.
That's right. Those are.
Yeah, so just want to make sure that I understand we're not projecting a negative balance.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to cause pain.
No,
And I can certainly get rid of that bottom line,
I think
because that's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
it's-
Yep.
I just ask a question, and we may have said this before, so under the projected available funds of the buildings line, what does that mean?
So
Buildings, like, is it just,
the individual schools, they get a certain accounts are allocated to their schools to use at their discretion, and they'll use it, you know, during the year. It's really our core allocations. It's based on enrollment,
okay,
and there's certain objects.
When I would
office
use as an
supplies.
example that we can freeze is say, you know, the baking classes at the high school, so they still, as the classes are going through, they still have to go out and buy, you know, milk and eggs and things like that,
Right.
so like, we can't totally
No.
predict that.
Yeah.
But the principals typically will save funds in there until the end of the year, just to, for events that happen or things that happen, and, you know, frequently we'll be returning money to the.
So it could be like office supplies.
Office supplies,
School
school supplies, print collection, there's a bit, I have a list of certain objects that each school has. an amount. Yeah, and it's based on enrollment, so we
Right,
look
okay.
at a certain allocation based on enrollment in that school, and they could budget in
Yeah.
these individual line items as they see fit.
Yeah.
They do have the freedom to line transfer, that comes to you all if it's over the threshold.
Yeah.
And then, but every year, the little balances in these little
Yeah.
line items add up.
Sure, yeah,
And historically, we've seen a little bit higher than this. And if you look back at the finance committee, either last time or the time before, I think I was estimating, I just threw a number on the table that was 80,000. This number is as of today.
Got it.
So as of right now, these are little balances that add up
Yeah.
at all of the locations in those
Got
little
it.
accounts.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you, I just wanted to, it's not like. Maintenance facilities
No,
like that.
I
so
can
it's
call it
just-
something different.
No, that's fine, just want to make sure, so it's like the operational office supplies,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Of each location.
Got it,
Yeah.
that's great, it all adds up.
It does.
Yeah, this is very helpful, thank you. Are there any further questions or discussion, Christine?
No, not right now.
Right. Um,
I actually do. have a question. The special ed, I remember we discussed that and we transferred what, 40,000?
I think 41.
Okay,
Yeah.
so where are we to date? I see the 100,000, but we don't know.
Yeah, so
We're not sure.
we get our second round of
Right.
funding from the state this
Yeah,
month,
so that-
so I'll be able to fine tune that in next month. I'll have a lot more detailed
Okay.
information for you guys. This is kind of like a lull before we really dig into where we are, but the 41 definitely helped and we're watching.
Okay.
Good memory, on that transfer, Christine, I forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
It'd be great to replenish that if we had,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know what I mean?
so we expect to, because of the 116 above,
Yeah.
we expect to be able to cover that. So
That's what I
we'll
Yeah,
dip into.
okay, good. And then I'll bring it back up to the 350.
It is actually at the 350, we found money. with
Oh, we
it.
did, okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
we found the 40.
I thought about that when I voted on it, and I was like, where did we take it from? So
Yeah.
we
It
discussed
was,
that, right?
it was, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
line item
okay,
transfer that you
perfect.
all-
I feel much better about
Yeah,
that, okay.
yeah, so we
Okay,
were
great.
able to not have to.
Okay, perfect,
Use that.
thank you.
Do we have any questions on that? Well,
I think maybe what we could do is just review from here on out, like how we close out the year. Seeing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah, so our next meeting's in June. Like I said, I'll have much better projections for you all, and we'll probably have some line item transfers, especially to cover that special ed deficit. So that will be at your next meeting. And then also at the next meeting, usually we ask for a motion for the committee to give the chair the authority to close out the year with me. Because even though things should end on June 30th, they don't. I mean, the bills start rolling in July that we weren't anticipating, so. We may need line item transfers all the way through July. So we try to encumber everything and anticipate for June 30th, but surprises do come up through July, and it's easier for me to just. Send Galen an email and him to authorize us to make the line.
We're set, yeah.
Or yes, we're set. And then if the line transfer is over the threshold, it would go to the full board anyway. But it just kind of makes things easier to wrap up the end of the year.
And is that meeting on June 6th also, that we next meet in finance?
The next meeting in June, I'm not.
No, you meet on the 13th.
13, thank you.
13th is our next finance meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. All right, still no questions online? All right. I'll be deluded.
Like hoping for something,
Right.
I think he
Yeah,
is.
that's all right.
He wants us.
Right, right. Well, in that case, let's adjourn the meeting.